PE, created in 386 by some weird guy in Greece in some made-up city that should probably be in Hogwarts. Back then, those kids would mostly play games with each other or fight to the death with swords, whatever they did back in Greece. But fast forward some years, and we now have what we call gym class. And let's just say some crazy things happen in gym class. Look, I know you've seen this video like 1,000 times, and you think I'm about to start talking about how there was this girl in my gym class giving mind-altering experiences behind the bleachers, or we had a big body gym teacher who got paid for how many felonies he could commit in the girls' locker room. But this one's gonna be different. Have you ever heard someone saying how they played dodgeball with a rat, or how they started flying like Superman? I don't think so, but more on those later. When I hear people talk about what they did in gym class at school, it really doesn't line up for what happened in my school. Like, I never had a fat gym teacher. They were all pretty fit, but I did have one that everyone thought was a pedo. Now, he did have a pedo build, being like 70 years old, teaching 6th grade gym class. But other than that, he was just a bit strange. He didn't really do anything. I mean, he did walk into the girls' locker room a bunch of times without telling anybody. But other than that, he was all good. But for real though, he was sneaking in there like he was Swiper from Dory, swiping some pics, but he only swiped 15 years. He didn't go to jail and he wasn't fired. But you could tell even the teachers thought he was a D1 pedo. But he's retired now, so hopefully we can get a confessional. I remember for some reason in elementary school, it seemed like everybody and their third Uncle Teddy was doing cup stacking. And I guess I just got lucky because it was our period in gym and the cup stacking people came out and we got to go show our moves. Now, me being the cup stacking goat, I got excited because this is my chance to show how I was the best cup stacker in the league. But when I was about to go outside and show everybody my utter skill, these counselors decide to take me in like it's Men in Black for GAL. If you don't know what GAL is, it's basically the gifted and talented program we had at our school, which it basically all it is it takes you in a class for 45 minutes and you talk about some stuff you don't even care about. One time we talked about China having too many babies named Kevin. Maybe I'll make a video about GAL if you guys really want to see it, but all you need to know was that instead of stacking cups, I'm stacking books, and instead of reading my world record times, I'm reading the clock so I can finally leave. To this day, I have to get my get back on the people from GAL. But for now, I want to focus on the other things that happened in my school, like when you play dodgeball with a rat. Well, kinda. So I wouldn't say my elementary school is absolutely terrible, but it was a little bit old, and that means there were pests living in it. And when I say pests, I don't mean those kids that put their entire mouth in the water fountain, but I mean those good old rodents. And if you want to see a video about rodents, I got one right here. Shameless plug, I know. But anyway, I was in gym class and we were playing dodgeball, and all of a sudden a mouse starts running across the wall. But I don't know how hungry that mouse would have been if it was started raiding a kid's backpack at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday with 30 other kids in the gym. But when we saw that, everybody started to freak out, except me, of course, since I'm Mr. Stoicism. But the mouse wasn't even that big or anything. It's just that the thought that the mouse could be eating some old club crackers from your backpack isn't a pleasant thought. And the girls really saw this because they started acting like the world was ending. Now, me being the Wizard of Oz, I was able to calm them down. And if you want to be as lucky as me becoming the Wizard of Oz, then you're in luck because I have a video for you to watch here. I know, another shameless plug, but if I'm already asking you to watch this video, I should ask you to subscribe and like the video too. Okay, now we can get back to the story for real this time. Where were we? Mice going through backpacks? Girls screaming? Me being the Wizard of Oz? Oh yeah. So anyway, we saw the rats, and I guess our elementary school brains were like, well, we should hit them with a dodgeball and then they'll run away, right? I mean, it's a good course of action, so of course we had to test the theory. We had the mouse juking us harder than an NFL player, but it didn't last long because the mouse got hit dead on. This guy was always the quarterback, so I know he throws hard, but when the ball left his hands, the only thing I could think of was that mouse's soul leaving Earth. The teacher picked up the mouse with a broom and we kept on the session like usual, but I still remember the guy nailing the mouse dead on. I mean, in the gym there's a lot of things we do, but out of all of them you have to figure out the most iconic, the parachute. At first the teachers pulled it out, I thought it was gonna be lame, but every single time it always seemed so fire. I don't know why, it was the colors combining with each other making it look so beautiful. Or it's always on the days it's raining outside or we had a sub, but it always went crazy. I remember sometimes they would let us go to the top of the parachute, and those were really crazy because you felt like you were flying and you had a 50% chance of dying anyway, but you had fun every second of it. Now when it comes to going to the gym, every day you walk in you know it's gonna be a banger, but sometimes some crazy stuff happens. Like one time I was in the gym and I was feeling a little jumpy that day, but we were playing some tag game with some teams and there was a jail, and the point was that you were supposed to tag each other and they would send it to jail. It was some dumb game. The point is my team was not the best team and the other team looked like the #1 draft pick in the NBA. Nonetheless, I'm the gym goat, so when we started playing the game it seemed like everybody everybody in my team started getting out in seconds, and eventually everybody got out except me. So I had like 5 people chasing me while everyone else is guarding the jail. When you have a group of a bunch of people chasing you, eventually they're either gonna catch you or run you into a wall, and that's what happened. It looked like I was trapped in a corner. It looked like they caught me, but the one thing they didn't understand is that I'm not gonna take no for an answer. So I had to show them the trick I had up my sleeve. See, something I failed to mention is that our gym wall had some weird carpet on it. It was like it could hook on your shoes, the wall, if you tried to run up on it. Most of the times you could only get 1 or 2 steps on the wall, but I was going crazy today, and when all hope seemed lost, I ran up the wall and did a backflip over the people in the opposite team. I guess they must have been stunned by the insane feat of gymnastics just created, but I was able to get in the jail and free my fellow teammates. Now after all that, we still lost, but I was definitely the MVP. I'm telling you, when I was flipping, the world literally turned into slow motion, and I felt like I was in the Matrix. And not that one. And I didn't even mean to flip. I just couldn't take the L. Now that was one of the good gym memories, but you can't forget the bad gym memories as well. So to set the scene, we were just in gym class playing capture the flag. Now you know me, not being able to take an L for an answer, I had to carry my team into a win. So I ran and I got the flag, and everything is going well. But my day was getting a little too good, and so of course something bad had to happen. And I'm running and I feel something big and hard.
Hey yo, even from back here it's a pause.
Anyway, something big and hard hit my stomach. As I'm falling on the floor, I look up and I see one of the football players walking away from me. I knew my fate was sealed. Like, take a second to imagine the biggest guy you know. Now double it. That's how big he was. Bro, after he hit me, I couldn't even breathe. Like, I was fighting for my life and I was losing. I thought that I was gonna be the worst part, but I threw up on the floor and I got sick too. So the moral of the story is that I had to get 35 restraining orders for my own safety because I don't know what they be feeding these guys, but I need some too. That's really all I have to say about gym class, but if you guys have any ideas for something you really want me to cover, put it in the comments. And also, you can't forget to subscribe!